So to go more in depth on why DEI is discriminatory, um, so the race stuff, okay, it's hindering the opportunities for white men, for whites. Um, okay, the sex stuff, it's hindering the opportunity for males. The religion stuff, it's hindering the opportunity for some religion. Um, the sexual preference stuff, it's hindering the opportunity for heterosexuals. Okay, it's discriminatory. The hiring process and the admissions process is not based on merit. It's not based on, you know, objective facts, evidence of your qualifications. All right. If a certain group of people happens to have more members of their group having greater qualifications for a certain, position, it doesn't matter. Okay. That's just life. Okay. Like, you could talk about evolution. All right. But, um, anyways, it's so obvious that what I'm saying has merit. Okay, when you're trying to say that these things need to happen because these groups of people are being repaid for a past injustice that led to their current position. Okay, I don't I don't think that we should be repaying these people for something that we are responsible for freeing them from. Okay, the United States is responsible for the most part for allowing, for allowing the spread of the acceptance of homosexuality, for allowing the spread of the acceptance of women's rights, for allowing the spread of equal treatment between races, okay, for ending slavery. All right. These people have been freed by this nation. Now they're asking, and this nation has influenced the entire world, okay, to help their group of people. And they're asking for more forms of repayment. Now, it's just absolutely absurd. Just be grateful that you've been freed and stop asking for more. Stop fighting people over it. Okay, there are riots happening over this stuff. People are being violent. Okay, people are killing people. All right, just be grateful. Okay, the law is sound, except for the DEI stuff towards white men. Okay, and there were probably riots and stuff and violent intimidation that led to this DEI stuff happening. I talked to a pretty prominent Democrat debater, and he himself, his name's Parker, he admitted, yeah, there is a point at which DEI should cease. He said, when equality has been met, DEI should cease. Now, what he was talking about was economic equality for all the people. Everybody's in the same position, that's just not right. Okay? What I'm talking about is you have your equality. You have equality under the law. Okay? You don't have to be boosted up, and other people brought down to achieve this economic equality among the genders and the sexualities and the races, and the religions. Okay, that's not right. So he said, yeah, this stuff should end once equality is met. Well, equality has already been met under the way the law is written. Okay, we don't need to just bring up all these different groups financially. All right. Do you see other nations demanding reparations from the United States because the United States is in a better financial position from these other nations? Okay, should every single nation be brought up to equality, by the profitable nations just because of what happened in history? Of course not. So you need to just deal with where you're at, okay? Be humble. Be thankful that you're freed from from oppression. So should white people ask for some kind of reparations towards black people because white people didn't evolve to avoid sunburns? White people were born into this position to where they are prone to skin cancer and sunburns. Black people were not. What should be done? Do you perceive that as a benefit, that the black people have attained because of the events in history that led to their ancestors living in that region as opposed to the white ancestors living in their region? Okay? You understand what I'm saying? Is there some kind of benefit that the whites did not get? Or is it beneficial to be white? Is the ability to synthesize vitamin D a greater benefit, than not getting sunburn? Should the whites also be paying some kind of reparations to the blacks because the blacks don't have the same way of synthesizing vitamin D? No, you just deal with what you've been born into because the laws provide equality. Okay, there's nothing to argue about. So when you're talking about professions like construction, okay, are you telling me that more women need to be hired as considered for hire or hired, interviewed, whatever, for construction positions, okay, physically demanding positions as opposed to men? Are you not recognizing the difference between the sexes? Have you not observed trans athletes participating in female sports? So I'm just saying there's no reason to ask a nation that freed you from oppression, that no other nation was offering you freedom from. Okay, it's not like you were stuck here and the other nations were offering it. And no, we led the way for your freedom and the freedom of your kind around the world. So why would we repay you more when we are the ones that granted the freedom in the first place? It's about being grateful, okay? It's about not asking for more and more and more, okay? Just be happy that equality has been achieved. The man said himself, once equality is achieved, DEI would be wrong. Well, equality under the law, except towards the people that don't benefit from DEI, has been achieved. So I know Charlie Kirk had the same position that I did. Okay, I know a lot of people share my position. I know it's comprehensive. Okay, I understand that people can be stubborn and, they know I'm right, but they want to profit. Okay, they're savages. They don't care about people. They don't care about fairness. Be careful because they can waste your time. This is a logically consistent argument. The whole thing is going back to, them claiming that they need some kind of repayment for past immoral laws that were in place in this nation. I just don't believe that any more repayment, is due to these people. So that's like the foundation of this argument is, do these people deserve more repayment other than them being granted the freedom that they've been granted? Okay, and don't get violent over this discussion. All right, don't go rioting. Okay, it's not something to rebel over. Okay, you have your freedoms. Just be grateful, be humble. You can discuss this. Don't try to kill people over it. It's greedy. But yeah, that's the biggest problem with the whole issue is the violence involved. Okay. I understand that people might discuss this thing. Okay, I get it. The violence is the issue. The cancel culture over this subject is the issue.